All right, I'm going to be breaking down the straddle hold, and the reason I believe an additional explanation is required here is that most people utilize this position as a way to increase flexibility, which would be passive range of motion. But I have found, and although I'm going to still be using a modification to show my most optimal position, I have found that by working mobility, active range of motion, I've seen better progress than the times where I've worked passive range of motion. And now my background is very much hypertrophy focused, CrossFit style, weightlifting style, powerlifting style workouts. So I have some limited range, but I definitely tried my best in that era of my fitness to work passive range of motion, so flexibility, rounding through the spine, reaching as far as I can, hoping that gravity will take me forward. All right, but I have found that I've gotten better progress from trying to work a more active range of motion, so neutral spine, pointing the toes, so that I can lock the knees and flex the quads, flexing through the hip flexors, base of the abs, and how many people have said, okay, that's what I want, right? I want great core strength, I want great hip function. Well, there's a difference between how much function you can have while you're able to be in an end range while under tension versus being in an end range but not being able to create tension. So ultimately, we want to have a neutral spine, and if you're like me, this might not provide the most value. However, I can hold that position, take some time, really block out a set, maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds, shake it out for whatever time feels appropriate, depending on if you're building out your own program or working with a coach. Of course, that's going to be different. But coming back to this neutral spine, flexed, using the muscles rather than gravity, using the muscles to try to pull you forward, not so much your hands, the muscles here to try to pull your torso forward. Now, that can provide me with some value, but raising your hips just a bit, I think, increases the effectiveness. And I said this on the Straddle Pulse video, but maybe I should do a 4 to 6 month check-in, because I believe, down the line, and soon, sooner than if I was just working passive range of motion, that I will have a pretty, significant increase in my range of motion. So with my hips elevated, I can now, as you can see, keep a neutral spine and not even worry about the counterbalance, although this is fair game, but really work on these muscles and squeezing them myself, concentrating them myself to try to pull me forward. Although it can still be considered a hold, I am trying in the hold to get myself to move a bit farther forward. And just like if you're capable of doing it on the floor, right, taking some time under tension, releasing, shaking it out, that's going to be beneficial stuff. And of course, some of you might need to have your hips higher off the ground. That is also fair game. Now, similar to the pulses, you can grab a weight, although I don't think you should do this every single time you're hitting a straddle pose. You can grab a weight, and now I'm really in this neutral position. It's forcing me to stay in this neutral position because it's not going to feel comfortable to have this weight here and be rounded. And if I try to lean back too far, the weight's going to take me with it. So in this position, it might be helpful for you to have that weight here because it could force you to keep that neutral spine, and it'll provide some resistance to push you forward. And you might be able to see that subtly it's already happening for me. So again, I get confident that if we do a 4 to 6 month check-in, you'll see some serious progress on my personal straddle position. And ultimately, we're trying to use this to get us to a place where chest can rest on the floor in a pancake position, but the person who can actually, create other movements and have better function is the person who can hold tension in that position. And I use this example in the straddle pulse, but think about a deep squat, right? There's somebody who can hold it here and like, okay, I'm in a deep squat, but then there's the person who can hold great tension and move in this position, all right? And those are different strength requirements, different, levels of mobility, hip strength, hip mobility. So anyways, I just thought it'd be helpful also to potentially see someone who is also on their journey, but is a fitness professional. And again, we're all at different places. So try to use some of those variations, keep some of those points of performance in mind, neutral spine, creating tension, toes pointed, et cetera, et cetera. And have fun, with this exercise and implementing it into your fitness practice.